Hey YouTube, it's Cyclone coming back at you with some Hunter x Hunter content. It's been several months since I made a video discussing the series. I did feel like the series would come back by this point. I think we all did, but due to COVID and everything else, we might be waiting until the end of the year and maybe even another year from now, guys. Let's just have that in the back of our minds. If it doesn't come back this fall, it's probably going to be another year until it comes back. So a 3-year hiatus, guys. That would be the most brutal hiatus he's ever done. It's already tied, I think, for the worst hiatus we've been through. It's getting bad. So much for the fact that he said that there were storyboards done for this stuff. I mean, I was hearing rumors about this. Never trust the rumors, guys. Just don't trust it. On top of that, perhaps Togashi is losing interest in writing this series, which would be kind of unfortunate, because he's really getting to the juicy part of the arc. Like, we're just about to get into the mob war, and we're just about to get into the next death among the princes. We also have to see what happens to Halkenberg. But for today's video, right now, I want to talk about the theoretical matchup between Tserriednich, or I call him Sarod, and Kurapika, and if the two were to ultimately clash, what would the scenario be, and how would the fight play out? This is all speculative. I don't have any proof, of course. I can only go by what the characters have shown thus far, and also referencing some other media that influenced a certain villain from a different series that is heavily influencing this arc. I want to talk about how maybe the fight would play out, because let's face it, this arc is really not combat-oriented. It is strategy and information gathering. So it's more about deception and intelligence gathering. And that sort of arc, like more of a mystery and sabotage thriller, it means that the fights themselves are going to need a lot of prep and a lot of events to get to that fight. So a lot of things have to happen before the two clash. They're not just going to clash out of nowhere. Or if they do, that's only going to be the first time they fight, with the second time being the finale. Now, if they fight more than once, I don't feel like that's how this arc is going. I feel like a lot of the conflicts in this arc are going to be decided right then and there. You know, like the one-on-one deathmatch scenario, it just doesn't seem like you're going to have a lot of back and forth. Now, you have characters like Camilla and Rejuvenation Hatsu. That's a different story. But for the purpose of this fight, the two characters are going to have to end up fighting one another after a lot has transpired. The first requirement that I see happening is that Sarod's Nen Beast is going to be taken from him or destroyed. Something is going to nullify his Nen Beast from the war. Because I think it would, first of all, be better if Sarod could be completely on his own to show his true power. Whereas the Nen Beast comes with the succession ceremony. And while that thing is going to be destructive now, it's already affecting Theta, for example. And it protects him, generally speaking. When Kurapika gets involved, I feel like that Nen Beast has to go away. And that's just my opinion. It would make the fight also more special, because it would be Sarod on his own. The monster himself, just the Nen user. And I think that would make the fight more impactful, and it would make it more interesting. Now, let's start with Sarod, because we know less about what his combat potential is, but from the series now, there are two things that you have to understand. The first is, he is a Nen genius, which also means that he has genius-level Nen control. So, putting those two together, he's going to be using Hatsu rapid fire. Like, he's going to be using his future jump or parallel universe ability. He's going to be using it, like just spamming the hell out of it, right? So in a sense, when this man enters a combat scenario, he's already 10 seconds ahead of you, right? That's going to make the fight a lot harder to dictate how it's going to go, because this guy's going to be foreseeing everything, right? Now, because of his Nen control, the way I see Sarod fighting is actually a lot like another character. Spoiler warning for JoJo's fans, if you have not gotten to part 5, please don't listen to this next portion. So, King Crimson, we all know he is the inspiration for Sarrod's ability. And the way King Crimson fights is by one-shotting opponents from behind and using time hacks to basically skip ahead and attack your future self before you even realize it. It's kind of how King Crimson works. That's exactly what Sarrod's going to do, but he's probably going to master. Here's how it's going to work. He's going to use Zetsu. He's going to go into the future. He's going to use Ko out of Zetsu and maybe even develop a sensory nen so he can keep his eyes closed. I mean, there's always things he could do. But he's going to be attacking. He's going to be doing basically, sucker punches, as a unfancy way of saying it, from 10 seconds in the future. And he's going to be doing it with Ko enhancement, so very powerful single target blows with nen enhanced aura in his hands and his feet, probably. Or if he has a gun, but I don't know if Sarod will be a gun user. I think he wants to use the nen, the power of nen. So this guy is going to be future jumping, and he's going to be doing single target strikes with extreme lethal effect. Now, how does Kurapika counter that? How? How does Kurapika counter the time hacks? Well, this is where we look at Steel Chain. Steel Chain is going to have something to counteract Sarrod's attacks. So something of a very good defensive nature or something with incredible healing properties. We know that Kurapika has the Holy Chain, the healing thumb, and that might be able to overpower some of Sarrod's lethal attacks, right? Because again, he's going to be attacking Kurapika without Kurapika realizing it. So if Kurapika's guard is up in Scarlet Eye mode, in Emperor Time mode, there's a chance that he can withstand the attacks. And while he's going to get injured, maybe Sarod will realize this guy's nen is really strong. I can't kill him in one hit. That's where the fight gets interesting because Kurapika can then start healing himself. And while he can't use Chain Jail, it's going to come down to using, we saw it a little bit in the Mafia arc, the dowsing chain. He was using it like a weapon, like a shield. He was spinning it around really fast, right? So he has the ability to move the chains as a weapon, and that might give him a defensive ability to help counteract Sarrod's movement. But it's also still tough because while the dowsing chain can tell who's lying or not, which is a cool parallel to Sarod, by the way, because both characters can kind of tell liars. It's in combat. We haven't really seen it in combat, so I don't think it's going to be a little bit useful. But Kurapika is going to need some abilities to rejuvenate himself, keep him in the fight for an extended period. Because the one thing that Tserriednich may not have, Sarod may not have endurance. There's one thing I think could be a weakness for him, and that's endurance. If the time jump is truly taxing, which it would make sense that it is, it's so powerful. If the time jump, the parallel universe, is really tiring, he can only do it 5 times in a fight. Well, now we have a narrative to go on where this guy has 5 jumps in him to land a lethal blow. So if Kurapika can withstand those strikes and counterattack, in the millisecond that Zetsu is turned on and off again, there's a chance that he could fight Sarod without his Nen Beast. So what could Kurapika steal to help him? Well, I made a theory a couple years ago about him stealing Benjamin Baton in an agreement, but someone said it's probably not going to work due to the limitation and the requirement. It has to be to Benjamin. But what if Benjamin was telling his men that I want to give Kurapika your powers? It's a gray area, and we don't know what's possible. But there's another character, and this would be poetic as hell, and it would be very narratively satisfying, is what if Kurapika stole Woble's Nen Beast? or whatever power was developed from the Nen Beast. Now, I know there's like an agreement he has to do with the person, but maybe Oito can vouch for him. And this would be absolutely bonkers if a power from Camp 14 beat Sarod. It would be incredible. Now, also, the theory is, would Kurapika fight alone? Well, he's going to have to go into the fight with a lot of information on his side. So he's probably going to have gathered information that this guy can do what he does. Otherwise, Sarod's just too broken. So there has to be some information gathering beforehand, and both fighters are going to come in with advanced knowledge of the other person. But I think Sarod is going to be more utilizing his ability to perceive the future events, and Kurapika is going to come in with all the knowledge that he has about Sarod's power and what makes him tick. Now, that's, again, the whole idea of a Nen Beast getting involved somehow with Steel Chain. That is, again, the rule is 2 princes with Nen Beasts can't fight each other. It's not allowed. But who's to say that a Nen Beast with a hunter who's not of royal blood isn't allowed? To me, it just feels like if you give Kurapika a stand, to basically put it that way, and then he fights Sarod, there's a chance that he could counter the parallel Tserriednich, the parallel world, right? And it would be very interesting. Now, there's another theory that both characters are dying, and that Kurapika's final arc is here. And there's one last theory I had about this fight. What if they kill Wobble? If Sarod kills Wobble in front of Kurapika, you know damn well this guy is going berserk. What power could Kurapika unleash like adult Gon level shit? If he just fully snaps and says, fuck this, Emperor times 1,000,000, this guy could become Omega broken. All right? And I mean, the thing is, he's set up to basically kill himself when he breaks a rule. He's very vow-based. So what would the condition be, other than his death, to beat Sarod like that? What if his scarlet eyes could perceive the future? Now, that was something that I thought might be possible in the most advanced application of Emperor Time, right? We're talking about time. Now, it's usually based on his lifespan, but what if Kurapika could, like, sacrifice the end of his life to see the next stage of his life in his eyes, right? Like, there are certain things he could do. And these are just some theories. The fight is going to be crazy. And I feel like Sarod's going to do a lot of disappearing acts. He's going to come into the future. He's going to blindside Kurapika several times. This guy's going to be using Ko and his Nen master. He's going to master Nen just like that, and you know he is. Togashi's setting the guy up as the most naturally gifted Nen user ever. So if his finishing blows can't do the job, that's where Kurapika can counterattack. And that's when the fight's going to get very interesting. Will he have a Nen Beast on Steel Chain? Will Wobble die and he just snaps and becomes a god? Like, what's going to happen? Time will tell. But I wanted to make this video as a discussion point because it's overdue. And I hope you guys had fun. I just want this series to come back. And I want to do some more live reactions. We're in the long haul, guys. Could be another year from now. Let's just be realistic. Although September, there is a chance that September is a comeback. I'm not confident, guys. We may be waiting another year for this shit. Let's just realize that, or March. But it's the longest hiatus we've ever gone through. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I will see you on another Hunter x Hunter video.